overwhelmed because there's so much to do on my task list.
Yeah.
Your heart might be racing, your palms might be sweaty. You might find it hard to sort of, sometimes I find it hard to focus because you're thinking of like this to do.
It's true that because when I come back I have such clarity. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, peace and clarity. So the question becomes, because we've got thoughts, feelings, behaviours or actions. So when we are sort of got worried thinking and it starts to intensify, you're starting to feel overwhelmed, and then you might go and relieve it with food. It's the most illegal way of relieving stress. Some people use alcohol, some people use cigarettes, some people go and verbally abuse their partner or whatever the case may be. Some people may go shopping. If that one works. My accountant doesn't like it, but anyway. So the question becomes, what can you do to break that cycle? And there are different things. The first one I will teach you is a mindfulness exercise. That's actually to calm that down, that worried thinking and feeling of being overwhelmed. But there's also other things like behavioural distraction, so what you can do rather than eating, doing something different. So I'll actually walk you through the different things. And some people will go, that wouldn't work for me, but that would work for me. So with the mindfulness exercise, it's actually coming from positive psychology, and it was created for Vietnam veterans. Because you think about Vietnam veterans, when they came back from Vietnam, these guys were getting flashbacks. So the traditional form of meditation for people who are feeling overwhelmed, whether it's just a busy mum or someone literally getting anxious before a presentation or someone getting nervous before driving the car for the first time, what they found with these guys is when they got flashbacks, with meditation, usually you're asked to close your eyes and blank your mind kind of thing. Now these guys, it just didn't work. So I kind of figure if this technique, very, very simple, can work for these guys who have got post-traumatic stress disorder, it can work for a lot of us who might be just a normal everyday person just bearing and dealing with the worries of life. And I've used this mindfulness technique for people who have irritable bowel or any urinary incontinence, because when people have got physical signs that are happening, so whether you want the urgency to go to the toilet, what happens when you keep thinking about it? You make the problem even worse. Or don't get stressed, you make the problem even worse. So with worried thinking, you're thinking about what's going to happen in the future, all these things I've got to do, and then you're going to start to anticipate it's going to be more of a problem, and you're thinking about the past, what didn't I do? And it just becomes worse and worse and worse, and it just escalates. So I'm going to walk you through the mindfulness technique, and I used to use it, because I do a lot of presentations. A couple of years ago, I started doing a lot of presentations, like big ones, like conferences, and that used to really worry me. So when you're feeling worried, it affects what you say, it affects your performance. A lot of athletes will use this technique too, just to calm them down, and it actually might help you not go and resort to food, because you're going from being like this to having a cigarette or doing the food. So I'm going to walk you through it, and then I'll show you a way of writing it down to remember it. So the mindfulness technique is getting in tune with how you feel, what you see, and what you hear. So basically what you do is, it could be any point in time when you're sitting down in the car, at home, and just getting in touch with the here and the now. So it's thinking about the senses around you and thinking of 5 things you can see, 5 things you can hear, and 5 things you can feel. So I'm going to walk you through it. So 5 things, and you do it in your head, you don't start talking to people about it, because they'll just be looking at you like you're a lunatic. So I'll go through it. So 5 things I can see. I can see the carpet, I can see the chair, I can see the treadmill, I can see joggers, and I can see the window. 5 things I can hear. I can hear my voice. I can hear a very anxious bird. I can hear rustling out there. I can hear laughing, and I can hear movement from writing. 5 things I can feel. I can feel my hair around here. I can feel my mouth quite parched from not drinking enough water. I can feel my trousers around here. I can feel my belt around here, and I can feel my shoes. Then you cycle down and think of 4 things you can hear, see, feel. Then 3 things you can hear, see, feel. Then 2, then 1. Now that's pretty boring, but if you're doing it in your head, what do you think that's doing?
Taking your mind off the other thing.
Taking your mind off the other thing. So I've had some people, literally, who get really anxious before something, to sit down, really calm,
takes you about 5 minutes to sit there and be in tune with the here and the now. And that is such a classic technique for anyone who has worried thinking. So the idea is, I'm going to write it down for you. So see, hear, feel, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're going to go see, hear, feel. So 5 things I can see, 5 things I can hear, 5 things I can feel. Then 4 things of see, hear, feel. 2 see, hear, feel. 1 see, hear, feel. Now the one thing that will be difficult, because I've done this many times, is hearing. You won't be able to, what you want to do is change the senses, all right? Because that's actually helping you get in tune with everything around you. But with hearing, it will be difficult to think of different things you can hear. So you can repeat the hearing, you might just keep saying the bird, the rustling, blah, 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 blah. But with the seeing and the hearing, why would you want to change the stimuli? Why would you want to be changing what you're seeing and feel?
To keep the distraction going.
Keep the distraction going, yes, and it gets you going from the macro environment to the micro. So I'll kid you not, I was practicing this one night. I was a little bit nervous before a big conference I had to do in Canada, and I was like freaking out. And so the night before, I was laying in bed with the light on, because you've got to have light to be able to see, and I was practicing this, and it was interesting. I could actually hear a little bug walking on the windowsill because I was so in tune with what was going on in my environment, and I was halfway through it and I fell asleep. So it's interesting, it's such a simple technique to take you away from the worried thinking to the here and the now. So it's a form of behavioural distraction. Who thinks that that they would respond to that, or who's tried something like that before? It's amazing. So it can actually calm you down. Whenever I get mums or parents say, look, I need me time, who's got an hour to have me time or meditate like this for an hour? It would be wonderful if you could. This is a very, very simple form of meditation that you can go and lock yourself in the room for 5 minutes and do it. And kid you not, it'll be an interesting experiment to see that once you do that and change this, it will probably change how you act and how you react to other people. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. That, and I've tried it and I sometimes pull it out. Now and then, particularly when I'm in the car, you just come out of a big conference and just calm yourself down. Because if you don't, you translate that emotion to when you get home. Not always pretty. Anyone relate to that? Yeah. Now, Penny, that's one idea. But the second thing is, sometimes you might do that and you might go, but I still want to go and eat, right? So there's some distraction techniques you can also do. So what I've put here is finding alternate ways to cope as well. I'm going to read out a few, but you guys are the experts in your own life. It'll be interesting to see what you have found works for you. So the one thing is that behavioural distraction. So one thing is this one to distract yourself, but sometimes that only takes 5 minutes and then you might go, I'm still going to go and eat. So distraction could be something like, I've put here, you might call a friend who makes you laugh. You're changing your emotional state from getting angry to actually having a bit of a laugh. Who finds that there are some key people in your life that can change your mood like that? You might just give them a ring. Go for a walk the dog, canine accountability, poor dog looking at you sad, to go out. And it may be not exercise for fitness or weight's sake, because I have this situation with patients all the time. I'll say, walking won't work, because they think that a walk to distract yourself has to be an hour. The purpose of the walk is to actually relieve your stress. So it might be just to catch your breath, get some sunshine and walk around the block. When you're feeling tired, what would you think if you're going, I've got to go and walk for half an hour to distract myself?
Just say no.
You'd say no.
I'm tired.
So don't always think it's about for fitness or weight's sake. This is about to change your emotional state. So it's just to walk around the block. You might get in the car and go to the post office. Just some sort of behavioural distraction. I've also put on, turn on the news. That can be depressing.
Yeah.
I just read that and thought, actually, maybe not. Or maybe some other TV show. Maybe Seinfeld. Maybe an old DVD and you go, oh, I want to see the Soup Nazi episode again. I love that episode. You know, I never get sick of it. Maybe it's planning a holiday. I've done this recently. I thought, look, maybe I won't have holidays for a few months, but you know, I'm going to just go and start surfing the internet and plan a holiday.